We have some major breaking news as NASCAR will not return to Mexico City in 2026 and is expected to be replaced by Chicagoland. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel and welcome back to our video. As I just said ago, we got some pretty massive and major breaking news as it has been confirmed that Mexico City is expected to not be on the NASCAR schedule in 2026 and is expected to be replaced by Chicagoland. It was reported by Jordan Bianchi earlier this morning. Mexico City is out for NASCAR's 2026 schedule. Chicago likely in, sources tell him. He says NASCAR's America Cup Series will not return to Mexico City next year, leaving a spot on his 2026 schedule that is expected to be filled by the addition of a race at Chicagoland Speedway. Multiple sources briefed on the league's plans told The Athletic. In June, NASCAR Mexico City became the site of the first Cup International Points race since 1958, but there's a couple reasons why they will not be going there, according to Jordan Bianchi. He said the date is unavailable next year as Mexico City hosts the FIFA Men's World Cup tournament, which of course it will take place here in North America, in the US, Canada, and Mexico. And it basically where talks about maybe looking at a spring day as well, according to what Jordan Bianchi has reported, which was going to take place during that time, but it looks like it will be an off day during that time. And it also talked about doing a NASCAR IndyCar doubleheader, according to Jordan Bianchi. But now they're looking to try to find a new attention for 2027. So NASCAR, of course, needed a replacement day for that event, and it sounds like it is going to be headed to Chicagoland in 2026, as NASCAR wants to race in that market. Now, of course, we also know the Chicago Street Course will not be returning for 2026, as of course they will head to San Diego next year, and NASCAR wants to keep a gap in that market as well. A lot of things to look at as well, and they would not confirm NASCAR return according to what Joliet Mayer, but they said he expressed enthusiasm, excitement about the possibility. He says always a fun event for our community and a great economic boost for the entire region. Now, the 2026 schedule, of course, has not been officially announced, but there will be less, of course, road course on the schedule if this is officially confirmed. That would mean if Mexico City not returning next year, according to Jordan Bianchi, we will go down from 6 road courses down to 5 road courses in 2026. Obviously, there's a lot to kind of digest with this news. There has been a lot of speculation over the course of the last couple of weeks that Mexico City would not return to the calendar. I mentioned a couple of reasons why, like I mentioned a minute ago, the World Cup going on, there's still some uncertainty around Toronto as well, if IndyCar is going to go back to Toronto in 2026. There's talk maybe that could be for a different part of the schedule with the World Cup going on that could move to a later portion of the schedule, but that's unknown at this time as well. It is really disappointing to hear the NASCAR will not be returning to Mexico City, but there's a couple things I look at. Number one, Daniel Suarez may not be in the Cup Series next year. There's a lot of talk about that. He could still be in the Xfinity Series next year. There's a lot of talk Suarez won't be in the Cup Series. I think that's one reason to look at. But I mentioned the other big thing, IndyCar. IndyCar has been really pushing to go to Mexico City, and they are expected to go to Mexico City in 2026. With Iowa not expected to be on the IndyCar schedule next year, from what a lot of people are saying, I would think that IndyCar is going to go to Mexico City, and they are really pushing for that date currently at the moment. I will say, though, the first Mexico City event was really strong and a really, really fun and exciting event. I know NASCAR really wanted to have an international day on their schedule for 2026. Obviously, they were talking about going to Brazil for the Clash this year or next year. That obviously is not happening, as of course they will be going back to they will be going back to Bowman Gray Stadium in 2026. The event itself at Mexico City was a really, really fun and really, really exciting event all around. You had a really cool win for Daniel Suarez in the Xfinity Series race, and seeing that 9-car go to victory lane was really, really cool. And then, of course, he had Shane Van Gisbergen sweep the weekend for the Trackhouse Racing drivers as he won the Cup Series event there. But like I said before, there's just too much uncertainty going on at the moment with the Mexico City event. And again, it's not surprising or shocking to see they're probably not going back there next year, because I think the Mexico City event, while yes, it did have some success for sure, there was so much unknowns with the World Cup, among other things as well, if they were going to be going back. So what will be the replacement? I mentioned a second ago, Chicagoland Speedway is expected to be on the NASCAR schedule next year. I have been hearing this for the last couple months, that there have been a lot of increased talks, especially with the Chicago Street Course not returning in 2026. And of course, that'll be replaced by the San Diego race that will take place on the San Diego Naval Base. They needed a race to kind of stay in that Chicago market. NASCAR wants to be in at least 2 of the 3 big major markets, because if your sport wants to be known as a major national series, you need to have at least a couple of those events taking place at those big national markets. Chicago market, the New York City market, and the Southern California / Los Angeles market. Now they've got two of those big markets of racing in San Diego and Chicagoland as well. And they wanted to stay in that general market. And I think it's exciting for me as a fan that Chicagoland is going to be back on the schedule in 2026. I've been really pushing for the last few years to see Chicagoland back on the schedule because, number one, the racing at Chicagoland Speedway has always been really fun and really, really exciting to watch because especially with even during the 550 era, when we ran that 550 race in 2019, that race there was still really good. You had a great battle between Alex Bowman and Kyle Larson. And then the prior year in 2018, you had amazing and a really, really great battle between Kyle Larson and Kyle Busch for that one. We've seen all-time classic races there that have taken place in some really exciting, great events. Tony Stewart's field mileage win in 2011. The amazing three-car battle for the win between Brad Keselowski, Kevin Harvick, Kyle Larson, Jeff Gordon being involved in that battle as well. You had a great battle for the win at that event. There's been a lot of great things that have happened at Chicagoland Speedway, and with that being probably in June, that would be a really interesting spot. Now, they haven't officially announced when this race would take place, but I have to think it'll take place probably around when Mexico is going to be, so probably sometime in June is my guess when it would take place, but I'm not sure at this point. But what I'm so excited about is Chicagoland Speedway just being back on the schedule. For me as a fan, I love road course racing, don't get me wrong, I think it's good that we have a lot of road courses, but the next-gen car race is so much better on the intermediates in the bigger ovals like Michigan, Chicago. We've seen Kansas, for example, a sister track to Chicago, put on some amazing and really, really exciting racing. I think about the racing at tracks like Charlotte. The Coke 600 has been really, really fun. Outside of last year's race, I think the Coke 600 has been extremely fun to watch. I think Michigan has put on some really good shows. This year's Michigan race, one of the best races we have seen in the next-gen era. There's just been some great races on those high-speed ovals. Think about the Homestead race last year, one of the best races of all time. Homestead, of course, is going to be the championship event. NASCAR needs to focus on getting to racetracks that have the type of racing that can be really good. And I think that Chicagoland can put on an amazing and unbelievable, great, and fantastic racing product. And I think the racing product at Chicagoland is going to certainly be a lot better than the racing product at another track, for example. I think it's going to be better than some of the road course races because I think the intermediate racing has been so good and really, really fun to watch. I think it's exciting nonetheless, though, to see that Chicagoland is going to be back on the schedule next year. I'm disappointed seeing Mexico will not be back on the schedule, as I think Mexico City has put on it was really, really fun. I know there's a lot of industry. You had people get in trouble for saying something. Tab Boyd lost his job, maybe over other stuff, not his tweet, but Carson Osbar got in trouble for some of the tweets that he made, some of the comments that he made as well on his stream. But I think the event was still a very solid first year. It's a shame they won't be going back. I would think there's a good chance they come back in 2027, and maybe you're going to have more of a push for road course racing. But again, with Mexico City not going to be on the schedule, this will mean there will likely be only 5 road courses on the schedule. I think the Roval is going to stay on more than likely next year, but I think that 5 road courses is fine. If everyone wants less road course racing, you're going to get more intermediate racing next year, which I think is really interesting. But nonetheless, Chicagoland, there's some stuff that needs to be done to the track, but I think the track will be ready for renovations, and I think they can get that track up and running and get it fixed so we can go there next year. But nonetheless, disappointed to see Mexico City will not be returning next year, but they will be going to Chicagoland in 2026. Some really exciting, really good stuff on the front, and it will be coming back in 2026. So a lot of exciting stuff. And with the schedule, we probably get the schedule in the next couple weeks as stuff is starting to get confirmed. Clash of Bowman Gray been confirmed, and other individual tracks will probably be announcing their schedules here very, very soon as well. So, that is going to be today's special breaking news report on Mexico City not returning next year and Chicagoland Speedway returning next season. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notifications on, so if I win a video, it does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Let's go below that and comment your thoughts below on today's episode. What are your thoughts about Mexico City not returning, but Chicagoland coming back? Let me know your thoughts about that. Are you excited to see Chicagoland come back? And what are your thoughts about Mexico City? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Later this morning, I'm going to have the news video that I was playing really slow earlier today, but we had this breaking news that came out. We're going to talk about the Austin Hill suspension. We're going to talk about the playoff format discussion. Unfortunately, talk about the Stewart Friesen crash as well, among other things, like SVG winning his first summer shootout event for ever oval race in the United States. Tomorrow, we're going to have race picks for probably both the Cup and the Xfinity Series races upcoming at Iowa Speedway as well, and the paint scheme video potentially as well. Then on Friday, we'll have a NASCAR news video discussing this over the course Motorsports. Let's talk more about this news from today at Mexico City, Iowa. And then this weekend we'll have race reactions to the Xfinity and Cup races. We got content coming out on people like Haley Deegan, Shane Van Gisbergen, Carl Lutz, Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, Paul Walsh, Ross Chastain, Clay Zafar, Dodge, Ram, Frankie Muniz, Connor Zillich, Junior Motorsports, Red Bull, Sam Mayer, Sheldon Creed, Carson Quaffle, Eric Almirola, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, you name it. All the good stuff we'll be talking about on the channel in the coming days and weeks. And silly season as well. I did a silly season update yesterday. Go check that out. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.